We're going to hop into Coral Carnage Knockout. There is no map intro for this one.
Yeah.
Actually, so I want to ask you a question before we hop into this series.
Oh, yeah?
They're thinking about replacing, Prion and something else with Frost and King Sejong. What are your thoughts on that?
I thought it was Core Hall that they're going to replace, too.
Yeah, well, they're replacing two. I couldn't remember what the second one was. But point is, what are your thoughts on bringing back the really old maps?
Yeah, it was Prion Core Hall. So I like the idea of bringing really old maps into it. I mean, those are 2 years plus now old, even though they were used for a pretty long time themselves. I think it'd be fun seeing what they're like. I think there's going to be a lot of abusive strats, unfortunately, though. Like, they weren't created with, like, Liberators and whatnot in mind. But I'm actually kind of sad at taking away Core Hall, as we're on it right now. I realize it's a bad map, I guess, like, theory-wise, and no one really likes it playing on it, but it's created a lot of really fun matches, so...
It has, and this was a map I remember everyone thought was going to be super vetoed, and we'd never see it ever except at the end of a series, but... Turns out people have been like disliking maps like Invader and others far more, which makes me feel good because it's not just my prejudice.
yeah, I'd really prefer they take away Prion and Invader. And Prion is a map that not necessarily because like the gold thing has been, it's effectively overused now thanks to Prion, but because I've always hated that map design. So,
well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Corsair Cup. It's a brand new best of 3. It's another PvP. All of that rhymes, so you know that's great. In the bottom left side of Coral Carnage Knockout, we got the blue Protoss. It is going to be FeaR.
In the top right is the red Protoss. He's Liquid MaNa.
Now, MaNa already showed us he knows how to play PvP, winning that previous set versus Goblin. But Goblin, I think, is a little bit cheesier and probably a bit more of a different flavor of Protoss than FeaR maybe. But it is worth noting, I think anybody coming up against MaNa has seen him do well in tournaments, has seen him do well specifically in PvP. And I think the worst part is knowing that MaNa can be the dirtiest cheeser if he wants to be.
Yeah, he can definitely get some revenge or just straight up try and throw you off by being cheesier than maybe you would expect, especially if you're coming into this being like maybe a little bit of the underdog, which I don't know if FeaR feels like that. But it's actually FeaR that is going for the proxy pylons, which is maybe a little bit different than the last Protoss we saw, but apparently not so much. We'll see what it actually is going to be, though. I mean, okay, 150 gas. It's going to be a Stargate. It is very, very close to MaNa and very unlikely to be scouted. You have to send a probe a very long ways to, first of all, see that anything is up, and then second of all, to actually scout where the Stargate is.
Yeah, this is actually kind of cool. It's something where it could potentially catch MaNa devastatingly off guard. What FeaR is doing right now is very important, trying to knock down these rocks and make sure MaNa can't get into his base. I'm not sure if this throws up enough red flags for MaNa to be like, well, now, why is he being so defensive? But Pylon should finish up in a second. If the Mothership Core doesn't die, she's got an overcharge ready to go. But MaNa walks past all of this and goes straight towards the main.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, I think that was the best option. If he had tried to retreat, same amount of damage would have been done. And to get anything, even probes being pulled off is actually very, very good, because that post overcharge really was his best line of defense. And these probes, they're going to be kited, and they're going to actually get free damage with that Mothership Core tagging them too.
Yeah, his Mothership Core should probably just be a little more A-movie right now. The stock's just running around, but does run into some pylons. Oh wait, those are MaNa's pylons.
That's his
Whoa!
pylon.
Didn't even realize.
Yeah, the probes probably should have been pulled to surround those pylons, but I'm not sure if FeaR noticed that they were not his pylons either.
Here's a problem, though. MaNa is doing a lot of damage right now. FeaR could transfer to the natural, maybe. I don't know. He's taking a lot of damage. But back on the other side of the map, MaNa doesn't have any defense set up. He's going to have two stalkers that are walking across the map. They're not going to have defending. He could lose a lot to this.
I am a little surprised. Like, this is something I would expect, like, from like me playing Protoss, right? Like, oh, this guy is doing poorly. Like, I have a real win here. Where I figured that MaNa would have been like, this is going too well for me. Like, what else is going on? But I guess just really focusing on the attack, not considering other options.
Oh, I love the pickup.
Polar Prism saves a couple of probes. That's better than nothing.
I love that. If he was fast enough, he could pick up micro these two, because it does take, of course, 2 ticks. But depowering the gateway in the main, killing lots of probes, that's going to be game either way. MaNa's still going to win. GG.
I mean, his army supply was too big, but their probe count was actually stupidly similar.
I know. That was a funky-ass game. I liked it. So, of course, it's going to be loser's pick. FeaR's going to get his choice for the next map. I wanted to wait till we're out of game to bring this up, though, because someone in chat had asked this. What about Twitch Turbo? So here's, like I said, I've been doing a lot of research into this, right? Oh, he wants Frozen Temple. He messaged me for some reason. The way it works is a little bit funny. If you guys have Twitch Turbo, whether you have ad block or not, I've recently learned, anytime we play an ad, it counts as you see an ad, and Twitch will credit us like that fraction of a penny, right? But if we have this is what makes it so frustrating, is if we have ad-free subs and that subscriber is a Twitch Turbo user, that Twitch Turbo gets nullified by the ad-free and we actually don't get credit for it. So the fact that we have more people in chat, I know we have a ton of subscribers with Twitch Turbo, that actually super kills potential income as well. Again, I'm looking into this. We're trying to find the pros and the cons and the best way to please everybody while still being able to make some money. But at the end of the day, it doesn't look like it's beneficial for us to turn on ad-free subs yet, but we want to one day. Just got to find a different way to split the money, or I don't know. But either way, Frozen Temple. See you guys in a second. All right, game number 2 in this best of 3 for the Corsair Cup currently going on. Spawn here in the upper left side of the map. He's down 1. We'll see if we can bring him back. It's FeaR.
In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, it's Liquid MaNa.
So as I tab out real quick to check the brackets, MaNa plays what is possibly Tang Tang after, which could be an interesting change-up. But, of course, Guru is kicking ass on his half of the brackets, and I think a MaNa versus Guru semifinals is my dream matchup off of what's currently available. Other side of the bracket, I really want to see Keen versus Drogo. I think we have what is potentially really 6 semifinals lined up for us.
Yeah, and a pretty evenly, like, you know, balanced race balance, like semifinals too. Oh, I was just thinking about Lily Kanine, as that bracket was held up, and he was just advanced. So okay,
there you go. Well, his opponent must have been Zerg. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that with Tactile, but anyway, so yeah, last game was funky and it was funny and it was, you know, something to do a little bit with being Core Hall and you know, just how that map works out, but. We focused a lot on FeaR's proxy Stargate, but he was one that ended up expanding. MaNa was really aggressive, and that was, you know, one of the biggest reasons he was able to win that game, was being aggressive at the right time. You know, not so much actually the War Prison or whatever that happened after, but I wonder if he's going to continue to be aggressive, basically. I think FeaR, he tried that proxy Stargates on a map where you think defense should be easy, because, you know, he was trying to break down those rocks, he was going to have a pylon if it was just, you know, 5 seconds faster. But do you try it on like a basic map that is Frozen Temple? It's pretty basic. There's not a lot of spaces to hide. Proxy locations are pretty figured out now too on this map. Basically, like to the right of your natural for gateways, and like maybe you're on your third base for Stargates, but it doesn't look like it. They're both actually going for Stalker openers. MaNa with a bit quicker of the Mothership Core is going to send it right on over too, so maybe he is going to continue being aggressive. He is chroning out that warp gate as well.
Yeah, so what I find really interesting about this is, of course, we talk about the 2 Adept opening, usually just being better because you can get in there, you do damage, it's guaranteed scouting, yada, yada, yada. I like this Stalker opening, though, just kind of, and no pun intended, in fear that FeaR may be doing something a little bit shenanigansy again. You'll want to have that ability to shoot up or chase down your opponents all in.
Yeah, look at where he's scouting. He scouted the top right, like you know, the gateways would definitely be like proxy pylons of preparation for that would definitely be, but also scouts all of the bottom left. So I would have thought that like the 4th base would have been a pretty, like, you know, okay, that's enough scouting. But he goes actually all the way to the corner. He really doesn't want to have to deal with any proxies, and he doesn't use his stalkers to attack. Just a Mothership Core going across the map to see what's going on, and they both expand.
Well, Mothership Core gets a little bit low, but nothing too bad. Not having to burn a recall yet, but put an asterisk on that because it is still really low.
Yeah, definitely doesn't want to, because all it's seen right now, oopsie, wrong person. Yeah, all it's seen right now is Stalkers on the middle of the map, which, okay, fair, MaNa was doing the exact same thing, so we could guess it's the exact same build going down, but it's like, you know, it's a pretty dangerous guess. What if it was Stalkers moving across the map, trying to attack your building Nexus? And if that was the case, you'd want as many Potion Overcharges as possible. So it gets home. It's definitely damaged.
I like how similar the builds are, too, by the way. Because we already know, like, just as the standard, as, like, the control, or whatever you want to call it, MaNa's a good player. He knows what he's doing, and you can rely on his builds to make him win a game. FeaR, who hasn't done a lot of scouting, is pretty much matching him blindly. And in that regard, that's kind of cool to see. But of course, a little bit behind, especially on this Blink. But Blink has come back to the matchup in a lot of ways. I like this sort of fake Oracle. We'll see if MaNa overreacts to it or not. But going back to the point of Blink, like whether it is going to be for a big all-in, whether it's for the Disruptors and the Stalkers to fight later, it's become a really big tool. Whereas for a whole expansion, for the entirety of Heart of the Swarm, if you were going Blink in a PvP, you were making a mistake.
Yeah, mid game for sure. Late game. But now it is the mid game and the late game. I mean, late game, I suppose you could also say is like Stargates, but it's unlikely. Okay, so
I just love the fake counter Oracle.
yeah, right. Like try to get the other foot's overcharge off. But it takes so much damage. Like that would make you recognize that it's fake. And the observer was there too.
Yeah, of course, MaNa did burn an overcharge, but realistically, guys, this Mothership Core is gonna have time to get that energy back.
Yeah. Yeah, but it still does its like initial job, which is just get scouting. What a Phoenix hallucination could have done as well, and it's not much to scout. He said they're going for really very similar builds. It's just that one went for a Toilet Council faster, the other one for a Robo faster. Right now we have MaNa, I think, with bit faster on those gateways, where FeaR's actually going for an upgrade, and oh, even a third base too. Actually, oh,
the third is
that
gonna be interesting.
might be canceled.
Well, so that's the thing, though. MaNa may either see this and not be able to take it down, and thus be forced into his own third, or he may try and kill it and really press the issue. I do imagine, though, that FeaR's got enough to defend this.
Oh,
I
he's
think
fine.
MaNa's just going to take his own third.
Yeah,
I love the Warp Prism, though. Warp Prism's like double Blink for MaNa. We've seen this happen so many times in the past. His control with the Warp Prism is fantastic as well, so if he had to take this fight, I'm confident he could, but I like his choice to back off. I like the idea of getting this third base up instead.
Yeah, I mean, he was like 15 seconds too late. If those initial stalkers were poking at the Nexus and the Warp Prism was coming a little bit quicker to actually get another round of Blink Stalkers, I think he could take that army on. But FeaR moved his army in exactly the right time. He still hasn't used... Yeah, there you go. He hasn't really used the sentries yet, so there's a Guardian Shield to help out. The Immortal should not be attacking those at depth. That's exactly what MaNa would want.
Yeah, they got a little bit awkward with that control. MaNa also kind of messed up some of the Blink micro there at the end too, but either way, FeaR's Immortals do prevail. Just the amount of damage they deal to stock is just way too much to contest without your own. Now, he might try and get some force fields off. A Guardian Shield's going to help reduce a lot of damage. There's a lot of cool potential here for MaNa, but I just feel trying to break this army with the Immortal count being what it is going to be a not cost-effective endeavor.
Yeah, almost impossible. Yeah, I'm not sure. If he doesn't lose any stalkers, then more power to him, right? Like, injured stalkers can still be worked with, but he is losing stalkers every now and then, you know, one or two, or one just so almost that it's basically dead. So I think that's gonna be it. And MaNa does pull back once again. FeaR has an observer over this, by the way, which I think is really probably what MaNa was not anticipating. Like, maybe he doesn't recognize he's been scouting so much. So, you know, like, okay, I back off a ways. He might move his army, and I can then tap the third base. But FeaR has always known exactly where MaNa's army has been. Now, finally, MaNa has his own observer. Okay, well, it's actually not covering his army.
So, income-wise, by the way, I'm a little bit surprised. And I mean, not super surprised because he had his third down first, but FeaR's actually been winning the income war for a majority of this game. Not even just, like, recently. Oh, hello? Okay, well, I'm assuming her headsets aren't working because she's taking them out. I just heard her go, ah! I thought my mic was breaking. But anyways, the Stalker's going to get into this mineral line. They're going to be dealt with pretty quickly, so FeaR's not going to get the kills he wants. Other side of the map, the Adepts actually get over here, but MaNa's microing them while microing Stalkers over the Naturals. So defending on one location, attacking in another, Warp Prisming in a third. Like, cool split control to MaNa, but unfortunately for all of that fancy footwork, it doesn't really get anything for it. But like, almost no probe kills.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, my headset broke a little bit. But anyways, yeah, cool multi-prong attacks, but MaNa really did put a lot into the attack on that third base that, you know, it did fail, and it didn't look that much of a big, that big of a deal. We can see now that with tech and upgrades, it was a big deal. We have Disruptors far faster for FeaR. We have +2 ahead of MaNa's +1. Like, he's going to have really well upgraded Stalkers.
So here's... I agree with you, but here's where I see this game possibly falling apart. We see this, I think, more often than not. One player's going to have like 6 Disruptors and upgrade lead Stalkers. Fantastic. MaNa's going to come into the fight with like barely 2 Disruptors, but he'll micro his better. FeaR will lose like 5 Disruptors to one shot, and the Stalkers won't have a chance to fight. So,
it's always possible. I mean, we even have a Disruptor out here. Like, what are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, so it's... It's unlikely that we see that scenario I just described, but it is possible. We've seen it happen enough times before. But it is worth noting, FeaR's going to have a 4th base, he's going to have upgrade leads, and he's going to have more disruptors. So in every way possible, things should look better for FeaR. But truth be told, the amount of micro and control necessary to make a disruptor army work for you is insane. And I think MaNa has control in spades. That 3 sort of pronged attack/defense that we just saw was a good example of that.
So what's interesting is that, well, yes, like disruptor balls, they can go one or the other. What seems to happen more often though in PvP, and this is why it's such an amazing matchup right now, in my opinion, is that I'm always surprised to see that even Protosses who aren't on my radar, like FeaR, actually taking a really good fight here, decent one actually, still have really good control. Like maybe they'll lose 3 disruptors, but then they'll attack right back into the other opponent, so that, you know, they're stupid trades, but they're trades happening. I don't know what's happening with MaNa's army.
Yeah, it was up in the middle of nowhere, but now he's gonna have a bit of an accidental pincer going on. I mean, he's gonna kill those stalkers. Blink's on cooldown. This was nicely done out of MaNa, on purpose or not accidental. That was a great piece.
I mean, that was a terrible blink from FeaR more than it was great for MaNa.
Oh, well, this is gonna
I don't know if
be
he
great.
only saw the sentries or he only saw the immortals, but oh, that was a very dangerous blink in.
That was a very dangerous blink in. You know, like 9 times out of 10, blinking in is going to be a bad choice. There's not a lot of scenarios where that's a good, even versus Zerg. But blinking away, using it as an escape. So very dangerous moves out of FeaR. Now, it's funny you're complimenting FeaR, because I almost think FeaR Dragon's going to go back through this cast, cut that up, and just be like, zombie, praise me, zombie, praise me,
zombie, praise me.
Yeah. Oh, FeaR Dragon. Okay, so army supplies have evened up quite a bit. FeaR still has a bit of an upgrade lead. That'll last for a bit. I like MaNa's Dark Templar, though. I think this is going to be really cool going forward. Both players just disengaging here on the right side. But for FeaR, I don't believe he has a lot of detection. In fact, only 1 observer, and it's with the army. So these DTs, Zombie Grub, might just get a significant amount of damage done.
Yeah. There's only 2 of them right now, so they're gonna start chipping away. There's a cannon though in the natural, cannon in the main, no cannon at the 3rd. That's actually something that well, if only they had known, they would have gone to the 3rd base. So actually not doing too much damage right there. But Immortals caught off guard. FeaR. Oh no.
He's gonna have another disruptor
again. Robo, please.
Yeah, the rally really screwing this. The pathfinding messing him up. Obviously, he's distracted back at home, but that was a little bit of the game's fault too. A bit unfortunate for FeaR, who's now kind of lost that lead he had obtained while this going on. And DT's trading out for a disruptor is not a bad trade at all.
What's so funky though is that it's not because of the disruptor trades. There was not that many like, oh my god, he lost 10 stalkers because he had, you know, a disruptor hit him in the face. It's been rallies. Like, not knowing where MaNa's army was, not knowing where his own army was. Like, this has actually been very bad play overall from FeaR, unfortunately. And he's going to have to hope for those amazing disruptor hits like this. That could have been really good.
That's not bad. MaNa still got 5 in the hole, though, while this goes on. His are not on cooldown. Unfortunately, most of FeaR's are, however. So as they trade out, MaNa's will detonate first. That'll cancel the shots out of FeaR. Bim, bam, boom. Now there's a pretty big lead here for MaNa. If he can get these follow-up hits, and he does get the follow-up hits, he's also attacking the 3rd while this goes on. So he takes a pretty decent fight here on the right side. He's winning out by killing a lot of probes at this 3rd, and this is looking to be bad news bears for FeaR unless MaNa makes some sort of mistake. If he walks into a disruptor shot, is the only way I can see him really screwing this up.
Oh, that was a very dangerous blink, but I guess it was kind of the last ditch one.
He's got so many stalkers left.
If he could take out all of MaNa's disruptors and then his own disruptors got a decent hit, then I suppose
it wouldn't matter, because even if MaNa loses the fight here on the right side, which he won't, he's won the income fight. GG gets called.
GG.
MaNa, a true badass when it comes to Protoss, is going to take a 2-0 and move on in the brackets.
Yeah.
Of course.
Fortunately.
Who does he fight next? Oh yeah, Tang possibly.
Right. So you gotta wait for Emperor M. See what he can do.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go to a break, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Reminding everybody about the prize pool, by the way. Corsair gives us, and like straight up shout out to Corsair again. They give us $100 every time we host one of these cups. That pays for the prize pool. $60 goes to first place, 20 to second, and 10 to third and fourth. So top 4 will get a bit of cash. Whether it's lunch money, whether it's something you're saving up for, always good to be able to give away more money for events and stuff. So, again, thank you to Corsair. Make sure to check out the links down below. We're going to a small break, and we'll see you guys in 2 minutes.